Nicole here, bringing you a new yoga flow on Genesis Go. For today's class, you'll just need a mat or an open space in your home. If you have balance goals that you're working on, having access to an open wall space or even a chair or a tabletop that you can rest your hands on to help steady yourself or help ease into some poses is a nice option. But everything that we'll do today will be accessible to you. You can make it as easy or as intense as you would like, and we'll get started. All right, let's find a comfortable spot on the mat. Whatever seated position feels nice for you. Hands can rest on top of the knees. Palms can rest on top of one another in the lap. It's really whatever feels nice in this moment. Allow the eyes to close down and give yourself a chance to observe where you're starting today. Doing so without judgment or trying to fix whatever you're observing in this moment. Just take the time to observe, to see. Because we can't really notice the changes that we make for ourselves unless we first take the time to observe where we're starting. Taking a few breaths, just take that time now. Observe any small nuances in the body as you breathe in. Equally important, notice those small changes, those small areas as you breathe out. And smooth breath in. See if you can fill the chest a bit more on this breath in. As you breathe out, notice if you can allow a bit more air to release. One more time here, smooth breath in, just observing, noticing. Smooth breath out, allowing the air to release completely. As you're ready, begin to blink the eyes open. Take a breath in here, sweep both arms up, look up toward the hands. Exhale to bring the hands down toward the heart. All right, from here, take the hands, interlace them behind the back. The elbows don't have to come to touch just yet, and if it's hard to interlace the hands behind your back, you can keep your left hand beside you, your left arm beside you, and just hold on to that arm with the opposite hand. If that is working well for you, you can stay there or interlace the fingers. Bring the knuckles toward the left side of the body. Pull the elbows back toward the wall behind you. And then to stretch into the side of the neck, we're just tilting the left ear toward the left shoulder, letting the jaw slide in that direction. Trying to keep the elbows, the shoulders as level as possible in this moment here. So staying in this stretch, you can look toward the right knee, or you can begin to tilt the eyes toward the right side of the room, maybe the corner where the wall, the ceiling meet. Breathing here, press the back ribs into the forearm, it's pressing against the low back. Stay here as you exhale. And then release the hold of the hands or the arm. Breathe in, sweep both arms up, look up. Exhale, the hands come down toward the heart. All right, let's do the same thing on the other side. So this time your left hand will come behind, either holding on to the right arm, right elbow, if that's a better option for your shoulders, or you can interlace the fingers, bring the knuckles over toward the right side of the body, pull the elbows back toward the wall behind you, tall through the spine, And then tilt your right ear toward the right shoulder. So you'll feel this nice stretch along the left side of the neck. See if you can soften the corners of the mouth, soften the jaw. Feel how the left side of the body lengthens and presses down both at the same time. And the eyes can turn to look toward that left knee. Or you can begin to tilt the eyes, the side of the head, toward or further over toward the right shoulder. Maybe looking toward the left side of the room with the eyes, or to that space where the wall, the ceiling meet. Keep letting the jaw slide with gravity, feeling the side of the neck lengthen. Full breath here. Feel the back ribs press into that back arm. Stay here as you exhale. And then release the hold of the hands. Take a breath in, sweep both arms up, look up. Hands come down toward the heart. All right, let's add a little bit of rotation here. So this time we will keep the left hand beside you. Right arm comes behind, so it's the back of your hand, back of your forearm that's holding on to that left hand of yours. And then rotating toward the right side of the room. So you'll pull the right shoulder back. Think of reaching the left shoulder in the direction of your screen here. Keep pressing down evenly through both hips. Both hips, both sides of the hips. All right, release the bind of the hands. Hold on to the opposite knee with that left hand. Right fingertips come behind you to help support you in this rotation. Come back to center. Let's come into the other side. So this time the right hand stays beside you, left hand comes behind. So the back of the forearm, back of the hand come behind to the back to hold on to the opposite arm. Rotating here, pulling the left shoulder back toward the wall behind you. Reaching the right shoulder in the direction of the screen. Keeping the spine stacked. And as you breathe, pressing the back ribs against that forearm, feeling the space expand. Stay in this rotation. Unwind the arms. Your right hand comes to the opposite knee, left fingertips come behind you to help support the spine. So continue to have that feeling as if you had the arm across your back. You're still opening the space across the low back as you breathe. Keeping the front ribs soft. Come back to your starting position, back to center. Breathe in, sweep both arms up, look up. Exhale, the hands come down toward the heart. All right, come on to hands and knees, tabletop position. Palms are flat, fingers are spread, elbows straight. Knees underneath the hips, the shins are going straight back, so they're parallel to one another, parallel to the sides of your mat. Let's start with one round of cat-cow. Let your abdomen and your chest sink down toward the mat as you breathe in. Exhale, round the back, look toward the thighs as you reach the spine up. So the whole spine presses toward the ceiling, the back of the neck lengthens. Find your neutral spine, your tabletop position, your flat back. So you're looking between the hands now so the neck stays long. From here, reach your right leg back. So the heel points up, toes point down. The foot is in line with the hip. Reaching through the sole of the back foot. It's almost like you're pressing that right foot against the wall behind you, so the leg is active. Take a breath in. And then bend the right knee, bring it in toward you, round the back. You're bringing the knee toward the chest, and you're pressing the spine toward the ceiling to get that rounded position. Inhale, right leg reaches back, one long line from the heel through the hip, through the top of the head. Exhale to bend the right knee and bring it in toward the chest as you round your back. Last time, inhale, right leg reaches back, one long line, strong through the legs, strong through the core. Lower the sole or the ball of the right foot down, step the left foot back, plank position. Hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. Keep the knees bent in this first down dog, reaching the hips high. There will be a difference from one side to the other. That's okay, we'll get it evened out. Shift forward, lower the knees down to the mat. Bring the knees wide, big toes come together, child's pose, sitting back toward the heels. Forehead comes down to the mat. If the forehead can't reach the mat, you can make a fist and let the forehead rest on the fist. Ribs rest on top of the thighs. Taking a breath here, feel the back expand and lift in the direction of the ceiling. Allow the air to release fully on the exhale. And lifting the hips away from the heels, come back to that hands and knees position. So go through this whole combination on the other side first. Cat-cow. Cow pose, abdomen sinks down toward the mat. You look forward as you breathe in. Exhale, round the back, look toward the thighs as you press through the hands to lift the spine away from the mat. Find your neutral spine, flat back position. Looking between the hands, reach your left leg back. So there's a line from the left heel through the hip, through the top of the head. Toes point down, heel points up. Core is engaged, leg is active. All right, bending the left knee in as you exhale. Bring it toward the chest, round your back. Press down through the hands, keep the elbows straight. Inhale, reach the left leg back like you're pressing the sole of the foot against the wall behind you. Looking into the space in between the hands so the neck is long. Exhale, left knee comes in toward the chest, round the back. You're looking in the direction of the knee, letting the head hang down. Inhale, left leg reaches back. One long line, heel through the top of the head. Last time here, bend the left knee and round the back. Elbows stay straight, lift the abs away from the top of the thigh. Inhale, left leg reaches back. One long line. Lower the ball of the left foot down. Step the right foot back, plank. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. You can begin to walk the dog out, bending one knee, reaching through the opposite heel. Bending the other knee, reaching through the opposite heel. Keeping the torso as centered and level as you can. Settling into your position. And then shifting forward, lowering the knees down toward the mat. Knees come wide, big toes come together. Child's pose, sitting back toward the heels. Feel the sides of the waist lengthen, the hips soften back. Opening the space along the front of the shoulders. Feel the sides of the body expand as you breathe in. The surface of the chest softens as you exhale. Coming forward, hips lift away from the heels, back to that tabletop position. Curl the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pressing the hands into the mat, elbows straight. Lifting the chest away from the hands, hips lift high away from the mat. Bend the knees, walk your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. Take a breath in here, find your flat back. Hands are either on the floor or the shins. In the beginning, you can keep the knees bent and have your hands supporting the spine here. Exhale to fold, abdomen to thighs to release. Top of the head softens down toward the mat. Inhale, find your flat back, hands again on the floor or the shins. Your fingertips are at least touching something. Bend the knees, walk your hands up the legs. Roll the shoulders back as you rise. Shoulders on top of the hips. Breathe in here, sweep both arms up. Hands come down toward the heart to release. Our sun salutations. Breathe in, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale to fold, arms sweep back, or they can walk down the legs to lower down, your choice. Take a breath in here, find your flat back. Step one foot back in the other plank pose. Looking between the hands. Legs are strong, core is strong. Shift forward, lower all the way down to the mat, coming flat. Toes point straight back, hands beside the ribs, cobra pose. Breathe in as you lift the shoulders away from the mat. Keeping the hands light in the beginning, we're letting the back muscles lift us here. Exhale to lower all the way down. Press up hands and knees, tabletop position. Curl the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Knees can stay bent the whole time. And the goal is in downward facing dog is not to bring the heels down to the mat or to straighten the legs. It's to keep this upside down V position from the hips to the torso. In your down dog, step the feet so that they touch. Reach your right leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the right knee in. Stay in this plank position to shift forward. Knee comes in toward the chest, very much like what we did in the beginning. Reach your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Reaching through all the limbs. Again, bringing the right knee in, shift forward. Kick the right foot forward to land, lower the left knee down, coming to our lunge position, low lunge, left toes point back, hands come to the top of the thigh to lift the shoulders upright. Breathe in, sweep both arms up, finding space and length through the sides of the waist. Right, lower the hands down toward the heart. To open up the shoulders further, take the hands, press them into the space. It's like basically at the back of the hips or the back of the waist band here. Press the hips forward with the hands. Hips press back into the hands for leverage. Elbows pull back and then lift the chest further up toward the ceiling. Let the jaw relax. Feel this opening through the front of the chest. Bring your shoulders back to your starting position. Keep your right hand on your hip. Lower your left fingertips to the mat. So this is going to help us keep the right shoulder open as we rotate. Right foot walks over to the side. Right toes can turn out slightly. Just make sure the knees and the knee and the toes are going in the same direction. Lifting the right shoulder away from the right knee to twist. Feeling this opening through the right shoulder. From here, hand can release from the hip or it can stay there. Right arm reaches. Lower the right fingertips down, slide back, plank pose. Lower all the way down to the mat. Toes point straight back, hands beside you, cobra pose. Back muscles, leg muscles activate to lift the shoulders away from the mat. Keeping the sides of the neck long, shoulders wide. Lower down on the exhale, chin to the mat. Press up hands and knees, tabletop position. Curl the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And reset here, find your foundation. Find a comfortable space to look either toward the shins or the knees. Our other side, step the feet so that they're touching in your down dog. Reach your left leg back, three-legged dog. So we're staying lifted on this first one. Left knee comes in toward the chest. You shift forward so you're in this plank position, looking between the hands. Stay high. Reach your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. And again, left knee pulls in toward the chest. You shift forward, that plank-ish position. Kick the left foot forward so you can find your placement. Right knee lowers down. Low lunge. Toes point back. Hands to the top of the thigh to lift the shoulders away from the mat. Find your foundation. Adjust the feet as you need to. Make sure the front foot is flat here. Take a breath in. Sweep both arms up. Lengthen through the sides of the waist, through the shoulders. Lower the hands down. And the heel of the hand is coming to the back of the hips, or basically, again, where the back of the waistband is. Elbows pull back towards center. You're pressing the hips into the hands into the hips, and then the front of the chest lifts up and over that space. Opening up through the front of the chest, feeling length through the front of the body. Smooth, steady breathing. Keeping the left hand on the hip, right fingertips will come down toward the mat. You can walk the left foot over to the side, even turn the toes, the knee out just a little bit. Just make sure the toes are lined up to help protect that joint. Lifting the left shoulder away from the mat as you rotate toward the left side of the room. Taking a moment, see what this feels like on this side. Hand can stay on the hip or left arm can reach, your choice. Take a breath here, feeling this space. Rotate yourself down, find your way, plank pose. Lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Toes point straight back, cobra pose, breathe in. Here you can begin to press into the hands a bit more, back muscles, leg muscles are still working. Lower down on the exhale. Press up hands and knees, tabletop. Curl the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. A few breaths here, observe and notice. Bending the knees, your choice, walk or hop, feet to meet the hands. I'm walking today. Take a breath in, find your flat back. Fold forward on the exhale. Breathe in, sweep the arms to rise. Come all the way up. Hands come down toward the heart. All right, let's find a chair pose. I'm going to grab a drink. Please feel free to do so as well. I'm turning toward you as well as we do some rotation with our chair. Bring the big toes to touch, slight space in the heels. Bend the knees, arms sweep around for chair pose, palms face one another. Making sure you can still see the tips of the toes just past the knees. Legs are strong, sides of the body stay long. Bring the palms so that they are together, bring them toward the heart. So for this rotation, keep your left thumb against the center of the chest. Take the back of the right hand to the outside of the opposite knee. Back of the right hand to the left knee. Use that to press and begin to rotate, trying to keep the hips, the knees as centered as you can, lifting the left shoulder toward the ceiling. So unwind, bring things back to center, arms sweep around, chair pose. Fold forward on the exhale, abdomen to thighs, hips lift. Breathe in here, lengthen the spine. Fold forward on the exhale. Breathe in, arms sweep to rise, coming all the way upright. Press down through the legs, arms lift. Hands come down toward the heart. All right, let's try that other side. Chair pose to start. Bend the knees, arms sweep around. Finding strength in the legs. Keeping the jaw relaxed. Bring the palms together, center of the chest. This time your right thumb stays at the chest, back of the right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. You're using that as leverage, pressing the back of the hand into the knee as you lift the right shoulder away from the mat. Seeing where this takes you. If you want to take it a bit further, you're of course welcome to. I'm going to stay here. Unwind, sweep the arms around, chair pose, you got it. Exhale to fold, abdomen to thighs to release. Take a breath in here, find your flat back. Fold forward on the exhale. Breathe in, arms sweep as you rise, palms turn up. Hands come down toward the heart. Take the right hand beside you, sweep the left arm over, stretching through the side of the waist. Pressing down evenly through both feet, feeling the left shoulder lift away from the left hip. Right shoulder, right side of the neck soften toward the mat. Bend the elbow, bring the shoulders upright. Take a breath in, sweep both arms up. Bend the elbows, palms turn to face the wall in front of you to open up the chest. Inhale, arms reach. Hands lower down on the exhale. All right, other side, left hand beside you, right arm reaches over. Pressing down through both feet. Allowing the left shoulder, left side of the neck to soften toward the mat. Lengthening through the right shoulder, through the right side of the waist. Bending the elbow, bringing the shoulders back on top of the hips. Take a breath in, sweep both arms up. Exhale, bend the elbows, palms turn toward the wall in front of you to open up the chest. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands come back down to the heart. All right, warrior two. Step your right foot forward, left foot steps back. Warrior two, making sure that your right toes, right knee are pointing straight forward. You can just barely see the big toe on the inside of the knee, so that helps us also know that the knee is lined up with the ankle. Back leg is straight, toes are at a bit of an angle on that left leg. Arms reach out beside you, palms level with the shoulders, looking over the right fingertips. Feeling strong in the legs, both feet pressed down firmly. Lower the left hand, flip the right palm to reverse. Big breath in. Level yourself out, warrior two. And lower the left hand, flip the right palm to reverse. Big breath in. Level yourself out, warrior two. One more time, left hand lowers, right palm sweeps back, feeling the space through the right side of the body. Level yourself out, warrior two. Nice, bring the hands to the hips, turn both feet toward the wall in front of you. Heel toe the feet to center, and then step to the top of the mat. Take a breath in, sweep both arms up. Exhale to fold, arms sweep back as you lower down. Take a breath in, find your flat back. Step your feet back, plank pose, your vinyasa. Plank to chaturanga all the way down. Take the back bend of your choice, cobra, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog as you're ready. Breathe here. Notice the difference. Allow yourself to reset. Bend the knees, your choice, walk or hop, top edge of the mat. Take a breath in, find your flat back. Fold forward on the exhale. Breathe in, arms sweep as you rise. Hands come down toward the heart. Left side, left foot's forward for warrior two, right foot steps back. Front knee is bent, ankle and knee are lined up, toes and knee are pointing straight forward. And you can see your big toe just barely on the inside of the knee, back leg is straight, toes at a bit of an angle. Arms come out beside you for warrior two. Looking over the left fingertips. Pressing down firmly through both feet. Lower the right hand, sweep the left arm back to reverse your warrior, lifting through the left side. And level the arms, level the shoulders back to warrior two. And lowering the right hand, flip the left palm, reversing your warrior, staying strong and steady in the legs. Level yourself out, warrior two. And last one, lower the back hand, flip the left palm, reverse your warrior. Nice, level things out, warrior two. Good, take the hands to the hips. Turn both feet toward the wall in front of you, heel toe things back to center. And then step to the top of the mat. Breathe in, sweep both arms up, look up. Exhale to fold arms, sweep back as you lower down. Take a breath in, find your flat back. Step one foot back in the other to move through your vinyasa. Plank to chaturanga, all the way flat. Tops of the feet, toes point straight back in your back bend. Downward facing dog, hips lift up and back. Head hangs down between the upper arms. Finding new space, new length in this pose. Shift forward, lower the knees. Bring the knees wide, big toes come together, sitting back toward the heels, child's pose. Finding softness through the front of the shins, through the front of the ankles. Allowing the outside of the hips to release. Shifting forward, back to your tabletop position. Curl the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Bending the knees, your choice, walk or hop, feet to meet the hands. Take a breath in, find your flat back. Fold forward on the exhale. Breathe in, sweep the arms to rise them all the way up. Exhale, hands come down toward the heart. All right, we'll start winding down here. We're going to use pyramid to begin to ease, begin to ease out of things and start to wind the body down. As counterintuitive as that probably feels when you're trying to balance in this position. Your right foot will be forward, left foot is back. Your feet are a little bit closer toward one another than our previous poses. Hips and shoulders are facing the front edge of your mat. From here, take the hands to the hips, lean over the top of the right thigh, and then bring your hands down to the mat. If you cannot reach the mat, you can use the wall or a tabletop or a chair in front of you to help you with this stretch. So beyond the balance and the leg strengthening, the part of this pose that allows us to wind down is letting the back of the body lengthen, allowing the front of the torso, the face, the neck to soften. Feeling the space and length from the back heel, through the low back, through the shoulders, through the top of the head. Allow the eyes to soften, corners of the mouth to release. One more breath here. All right, to come out of this position, lengthen your spine so you have that flat back. A little bit of a bend to your right knee, hands come to the hips to pull the shoulders back. Keep pressing down through that back foot as your anchor as you come up. Step the feet to touch. Take a breath in, arms sweep. Exhale, hands come down to the heart. All right, let's do the other side. Left foot is forward, right foot steps back for pyramid pose. You're positioning the feet so that your hips, your shoulders can be facing the front edge of the mat. A little bit of an angle to that back foot so the toes are pointing kind of in the direction of the corner of the mat here. Left toes are going straight forward. Leaning over the top of the thigh, the hips roll forward for this hamstring stretch. Hands come down to the mat, and you can use the wall or whatever support you're using in the stretch. Both legs press down firmly, letting the front of the body release over the top of the left leg. The back of the neck to release. is calm and steady. Finding length from the right heel through the low back, through the middle of the back of the neck, top of the head. Last breath here. To come out of this position, lengthen the spine, find your flat back. Slight bend to your left leg. You're still pressing down through that right foot. That's your anchor as the hands come to the hips, the shoulders pull you back, feet set to touch. Take a breath here, sweep both arms up. Exhale to fold, arms sweep back as you lower down. Take a breath in here, find your flat back. Step the feet back, your final vinyasa. Plank to chaturanga, all the way flat. Tops of the feet for cobra, upward facing dog, your back bend. We'll all meet back, downward facing dog, lifting the hips, curling the toes. Breathing here. Observing these changes that you've made in the body and in the mind. Slowly shift forward, lower the knees down to the mat. And we'll find our way to a seated position, Dandasana, staff pose. So the legs reach forward, toes point straight up. Your choice here, knees can be bent. Feet don't have to be touching. Sometimes it feels better to have the feet apart if you have trouble with your low back or tightness in the hips. From here, breathe in, sweep the arms up, look up. Fold forward, lengthen through the sides of the body first, and then allow the arms, the shoulders to soften down. If you aren't able to reach the feet, you can hold on to the back of the calves or the back of the knees. Let the shoulders soften. Reach through the heels as you draw the top of the feet back toward you. The front of the ribs release. And the stretch through the back of the body. Slowly bring yourself upright, walking the shoulders back on top of the hips. Bend your right knee, bring it out to the side. Sole of the right foot comes to the inside of the left thigh, or if that's not comfortable for the knee, you can change the position of the foot so you feel secure in that joint, so there's no discomfort in that area. Your torso turns toward the left leg, arms walk forward, trying to keep the shoulders centered with the mat. You can hold on to the foot or hold on to either side of the shin. Hands can also be down on the ground to support you. Marichyasana, reaching the right hip, right shoulder away from one another. Looking in the direction of the left leg so the neck stays long. Bring yourself upright. Straighten both legs just to reset. And then bending the left knee. Knee comes out to the side. Right foot, right toes stay pointing up. Finding the position that feels comfortable on the knee. If this is not a good position for you, you can also straighten the leg out to the side. You'll still get this rotation and the stretch through the right leg. Shoulders are centered with the right leg as the hands walk toward the foot, finding your spot, hands on the mat. If you're able to reach the foot, go for it. Shoulders are level. Finding a comfortable space to look with the eyes. Reaching their left shoulder away from the left hip. Use the hands to walk the shoulders upright. Straighten both legs, again, just to reset for a moment. Back to our staff pose. And we'll come on to our back, bend the knees. Hold on to the back of the legs to ease yourself back onto the mat. Bring the knees in toward the chest. Allow the back of the head, the shoulders to relax down. Taking your version of happy baby. So first step, bringing the knees apart, keeping the feet together. Hands come through the inside of the knees to hold on to the front of the shins. Gently drawing the knees away from one another. Keeping the toes, the feet moving towards center. Trying to keep the shoulders and the back of the head on the mat. You can stay with this version, or bring the feet in the direction of the ceiling, draw the tops of the feet back, keep holding onto the shins and approach it from this angle. You don't have to be able to hold on to the feet here. If you're able to reach the feet while still keeping the head, the shoulders down on the mat, then you can take that version of happy baby if it's there for you. Releasing whichever hold you're using, bringing the knees back to center, hugging the knees in. Reaching the legs long, arms reach overhead, full body stretch. Coming into your final Shavasana position. The feet come out wide to the edges of the mat. Arms come out beside you, palms turn up. Eyes move in the direction of the ceiling, and then the eyes softly close. Allowing the chin to lift away from the chest, keeping a soft curve to the back of the neck. Feeling the back of the body sink into your mat. Feeling the sides of the body slide down toward the ground. Finding new space as you breathe in. And new areas of release as you exhale. Finding expansion, opening as you breathe in. Finding softness and stillness as you exhale. Slowly begin to bring gentle motion into the fingers, the toes. Rolling out the wrists and the ankles. And bending the knees. Roll over toward the right side of the body, using the right hand as a pillow, right shoulder, right hip, soften onto the mat. We use the hands to press the shoulders upright, coming into a seated position. Palms come to touch in front of you. And giving yourself a moment to observe these changes that you've made. Changes in the body, changes in the mind. fresh breath in here, feel the chest expand and lift. As you exhale, chin releases toward the chest, shoulders soften. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your yoga practice today, for letting me come into your home and spend this time with you. Namaste. Thank you so much to my Genesis family for joining me today. If you'd like to see more of the videos, you can follow on Facebook or go to the Genesis Go YouTube channel. They'll have not only yoga videos, but really any type of workout that you're looking for while you're at home during this time. So I appreciate you spending this time with me, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.